is we're doing this live from mobile. Hold on, this camera looks kind of fuzzy, so let me just wipe it down real quick. There we go. What a day. What a day it has been. I can tell you guys right now, I was not too happy to see that my Twitter account was suspended for a few hours. That was the craziest thing ever because it was suspended, no warning, no nothing that told me why it was suspended. And so, like, those people who follow me on Twitter, you guys may have gotten a follow from my second account. And you know, I'm gonna keep that account open, even though I got my original account back. This kind of taught me a lesson here, and that is, even if you fly under the radar, some of the shady things that these social platforms can do will do, and they will do it to you. Like I said, I still have like no explanation whatsoever as to why they even suspended my Twitter account. So I can only go on just like a guesstimation of what happened. And so here's the gist of it. Here's technically what happened. So earlier today, I was trying to do something on the gram, and I needed to link my Twitter to it so it would auto share the same thing to Twitter. By the way, whoever's in here right now, let me know. Can you hear me well? Is the stream going okay? Is it choppy? Let me know first before I start telling the story, because I don't want to tell a story and it's like I'm starting to sound like a robot, broken up and everything like that. So if someone can just let me know real quick, is it okay? If it's doing fine, just let me know. I definitely want to know before I continue. Can someone just let me know? Just let me know. Is it choppy? I mean, I don't want to have to go grab one of my phones real quick, and I should have done that. I should have grabbed one of my phones and looked. But I have all my phones over there right now, and I don't feel like getting up. Oh well, I was gonna tell a story. Anyways. So, like I said earlier today, I wanted to share something on Instagram, and I wanted it to auto share to Twitter as well. And so I put in my credentials for Twitter and everything like that, and I totally forgot, you know, 2FA's on. So, and it's to a mobile number that I don't have on me, right? I have 4 lines of service going on right now. 2 of them are visible. One's Boost Mobile, one's Los Mobile. So 4 lines total, but the Los Mobile phone was at home. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I know my password to my Twitter account and everything like that. I'll just change my mobile number. That way I can get the 2FA authentication and be solid. So I went ahead and changed that number. And then, yeah, I thought I shared what I was going to share to Instagram, auto share to Twitter. I thought it did. It didn't. And I thought, you know, I didn't think nothing of it. So I go about the rest of my day. Did the interview. Looks hopeful. Moving on to the next step. So, cool thing is, and I'll tell that news a little bit later on. But there's good news for me. So, and it wasn't until like about 4 or 5 o'clock, I was like, I opened Twitter, and I can see my Twitter feed, and I'm like, okay, but I look at my profile because I wanted to add that I am part of the Pixel Superfans. I got an email today that wanted me to give them all my social handles, and so I put all that in. I filled out that form, put all that in there, birthday, everything like that, sent it back to them, right? I'm already in the Facebook group, but they, you know, I submitted my Reddit, my Twitter, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna update my bio on Twitter and just, put on there because I'm happy to be a part of them. That I am part of the Pixel Superfans. And I can't edit. I can't edit my bio, and I'm like, wait a minute. All my followers are gone. So I was like, wow, today had to be the day that everybody hated me today and just left. But then I looked and I was like, the people that I'm following, it shows 0. So following 0, followers 0. I'm like, what's happening to my Twitter account? So then a little window pops up and it talks about, hey, your account's been suspended. To log into twitter.com and find out why. I'm like, okay, so open up browser, desktop mode, log into Twitter. It's like, oh, your account has been suspended. Suspended accounts happen when you violate Twitter's rules. I'm like, what rule did I violate? Because my last couple of tweets has been about Mobile X. It's been about just what I'm just randomly thinking. So, like, what did I do that violated Twitter's rules? That's what I wanted to know. And so I submitted a appeal to why they suspended my Twitter account. And I get email response back, a generic email response talking about to reply so they know that the email that's associated with my Twitter account is still active and I'm still able to access it. And I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm getting this email, it should pretty much let them know that I'm able to access it. What up, Yoda? So I'm just like, what the fridge is going on with my Twitter account? So I respond back to them, know I have access to that email address, right? And then I'm like sitting there thinking, like, what's going on? Then I remembered when I filled out the form about the appeal for the suspension, I was like, I didn't clarify a few things, so I submitted another one and detailed what I did today on Twitter, and the only thing that I can think of that would even be considered suspicious activity was the fact that I switched my mobile number. Big deal. And when I switched my mobile number, they give you a 2FA authenticator to validate your number, and I plugged that in, so I don't even know why it was like, any type of big deal or whatever. Anyways, so I'm like, okay. And then I get an email response back, and it's like, yeah, they'll look into it. It'll take a couple of days, and someone will get back to you by email. Like, great, it's gonna take a couple of days. My main Twitter account's gonna be closed. And so I was like, screw it. I'm gonna make a secondary Twitter account just to let everybody know that follows me on Twitter that my main Twitter account is suspended, that I did not unfollow anybody. I got suspended. They suspended my account. So created my backup account on Twitter, posted a photo showing that my main account was suspended. And yeah, like a little whining 2-year-old, I may have tweeted, some stuff because I was aggravated. Like, what happened, But see, that's the thing. Why would they consider me like, that I did something bad? I actually didn't do anything that really violated the terms of service, and I pointed that out, right? So, what was the infraction other than the fact that the only real major thing I did on Twitter today was change my mobile number, and that was it. So, everything else is pretty much like to tech. I kind of learned my lesson before, because the reason why I say like this was weird that it happened was I almost had my account suspended before. When I tweeted a lot of politics, I got a fair amount of warnings from Twitter. I got warnings from Twitter that was telling me that they were on the brink of suspending my account. So that's why I stopped really mentioning anything political on Twitter. I do worse. Hasn't happened to me. Who knows? Because right now, my Twitter has been reinstated. I was like, I watched a couple of movies, just chilled. Well, first I watched Sneed's podcast. I watched that for a while, and I thought, it was pretty interesting and pretty cool. They never told me what I said or what happened. I never got a reason as to why. Even if it was like an accidental suspension, they didn't tell me anything. All they emailed me, it was at 6:43 p.m. my time, they emailed me telling me that my account was reinstated and sorry for the inconvenience. I'm like, what? But what happened? What did I do? Because how am I supposed to know what I did if you don't tell me what I did, right? That's like going up to a child and, giving them one, and then when they're like, what did I do wrong? You just walk away in silence, like, figure it out type of thing. But see, that's the thing. I would say it was censorship, but I stopped being political on Twitter because I've gotten warnings from Twitter on that. Like, Twitter has been open and vocal when people are political, or they think they're being political. Because sometimes I'm not even being political. I'm just talking logic, and it's not my fault that some people in higher places are just idiotic and don't think with logic. That's not my fault that they're idiots. But yeah, I've got warnings before. This just came out of like nowhere. This was like left field suspension, and then they reinstated my account faster than anything I've ever really seen. And yeah, it was just like, okay, it's reinstated now. Like, what'd you do? So I don't know. There's a lot of things in my head right now. There's a lot of things that's going on with social platforms. Okay, there's a lot that's going on with social platforms. Like I said it in Sneed's podcast today, and I was kind of afraid to say it because I didn't want to mess up his podcast. The whole thing with Facebook and stuff like that. The whistleblower that's come forward to to the committee and has spoken about Facebook knowing that Instagram is dangerous for teens, and yet they continue to do these certain things with the algorithm and stuff like that put kids in danger on Instagram. Obviously, Facebook, being used as a tool to push a narrative and to warp people's minds into backing that narrative, even if like they wouldn't really back that type of narrative in the first place. Like, this lady's coming out and saying a lot of things, right? So funny that whistleblower comes through and Facebook goes down globally for hours, right? For hours. And Sneed in his podcast today read their statement about it to people, and literally even tried to convince the world to believe that their backup for Facebook also failed too as well. Like, miraculously, these tools that were used to be backups to keep Facebook running also went down. They had no access to it. And then to me, I'm thinking like, okay, Mark Zuckerberg's a genius, all right? Now, you see, if you know Mark's past and you know the things that he's done, right? Like, that he literally like hacked into different colleges' database and was snagging photos of female college students and built an entire site in one day where people could just choose left or right to choose which girl was hot on that, was it Face Mash website that he created that took down the internet servers in the East Coast. Okay, he's a freaking genius, right? So there's no way that Mark Zuckerberg is going to have his whole baby, his Facebook, that he literally kind of ripped away from these other guys that wanted to build something similar, that he took the idea and brandished his own idea, even though he didn't use any of their code. The idea is what he took, and that's the reason why they were paid, why he settled and paid them out. But anyways, you're talking about a guy like Mark Zuckerberg's going to let Facebook go down to create some sort of backup system for his Facebook to make sure that if something was to go down, server side or whatever, like, it would continue Facebook to go. Maybe certain areas might go dark on Facebook, but not globally. And so a lot of people, are coming out with it like, yo, they went dark globally and for hours because they had to infiltrate, they had to change their algorithm, they had to change things that go on with Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, because they know for a fact that with the whistleblower saying what she said, Zuckerberg's going to be called to that committee to be questioned by that committee, and if there's certain things in place that would even be deemed as evidence to put him in a bad light, they want it gone. Now, how do you take something like that out of Facebook so you're not caught? Well, you shut the whole thing down for hours and clean it and make sure it's squeaky clean before you put it back online. That's speculation. I'm not saying that's a fact, so nobody run around and say, yo, this person on this YouTube channel nailed it. No, I'm just saying it's speculation, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm not the only one whose account got suspended on Twitter, according to what I found out after I went vocal on my second Twitter account and talked about it. And then some people decided to hit me up and let me know that the same thing happened to them. Now, I'm not saying that Twitter is doing the exact same thing, but I just think it's kind of funny. And I get your account's reinstated, but not a reason why. Not we need to validate something. Not, oh, it's because you're suspicious. You keep changing your mobile number on Twitter, and that's why we're concerned. Nothing to that effect. Just it's reinstated. We're sorry for the inconvenience. All right, so it's reinstated now. But what if I tweet in like the next 10 minutes? Is that going to get me suspended again? Like, this is kind of the reason why, like, for me, it's not a deal breaker. It doesn't kill me. If they took my Twitter away completely for good, I was already invested in my second Twitter account to just go forward with that and rebuild. Rebuilding, back up to a following of what I have on Twitter, which is not, it's not a lot. I'm appreciative of everyone who does follow me, but it's not like gigantic. I don't have millions of followers on Twitter. I only have like 500 and something followers on Twitter. That's a lot for me. That's not a lot by anyone's standards. So, yeah. Are we some sort of lab rat where they're trying to test how we are and what our mentality is like? Now that we've had social media for so many years, if they were just to take it away, can they use that as some form of control? Like, I'm speculating now, okay? I'm not saying this is what they're doing. I don't want some person who follows conspiracy theories to take this and actually really develop a very convincing story that seems true. I'm just thinking out loud, because technically they could take it all away, right? I've even been accepting to the fact that eventually, and that someday, YouTube might take my channel away completely. They've openly talked about that they can do that with their latest, I don't think it was December of last year, but the previous year. So I think at the end of 2019, December, they had changed some things around and literally just state that if your channel is not considered viable by YouTube standards, that they had the right to just shut your channel down completely without your consent. Just boom, your channel's gone. They could do that. All videos and everything's gone. And a lot of people kind of worry about that. They worry about if that'll happen to them. Now, I know newer creators don't think about it because they weren't around to be hit with that notice from YouTube that says, hey, we're changing a few things in our policy. This is what changed. They have it. Whoa, why no super chat button? I have no idea. I have no idea. There should have been, unless something's going on with my YouTube channel. I think you shouldn't log in with social media. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. I don't know. So I think that's like absolutely crazy. That's what happened to me today. Just weirdness. Just weirdness. Twitter was gone for a while. Now it's back. So, all right. Yeah. So, good news. Yesterday I went live and I talked about, getting this job that I want, and that more than likely I'll probably end up working and wouldn't be able to live stream the Made by Google event on the 19th. Turns out I'm actually going to be able to, because the initial training for what I'm hired for doesn't begin until November 1st. So I have the rest of October to pretty much just like lean a little bit. So for the rest of October, I'm going to be banging out a bunch of videos as I can, doing a bunch of live streams as I can, because once November hits, I'm going to be in a schedule that pretty much has me occupied, and then coming home and spending time with my kids, after work, and then, if I have some downtime, I'll be able to put together a video. The way that I'm thinking about how I'm going to make videos going this point forward, I'm not going to be able to record everything in one day. I'm probably going to have to record segments over a couple of days and then put those together to create just one video to upload. So my video uploads might slow down, or if I figure a way that I'm able to do it, like maybe record some stuff while I'm at work on my lunch break or something like that and put things together. I'll try my best to just keep the momentum going with the video uploads every day and whatnot. I'll try my best to do that. But yes, the Made by Google event, I will be live streaming my live reaction to the event. I do plan, if I don't get it this December, because the holidays and everything like that, like my kids' gifts and stuff like that comes first before I even buy myself anything. But if I don't get the Pixel 6 come December, maybe like February of 2022, I'll end up getting the Pixel 6. So I'll be like way late to the game with that phone. But at the same time, I'll still be able to give my my perspective on it, my perception of how it functions and performance and all that stuff. Of course, everyone else is going to have like all their videos, Pixel, after 1 week, Pixel after 2 weeks, Pixel after a month, Pixel after 2 months. I think by the time people start hitting that Pixel after 90 days, after that point, I think is when I'll be able to put up a video of the Pixel 6 and how it's been for me. I probably won't even do an unboxing because there's just really no point. Everyone's gonna know what comes in the box. But as far as like my first impressions, yeah, I'll do a video on that when I get the phone. I think my initial plan though right now is so I'm gonna get my babe a Pixel 5 because I know they're gonna be on sale and someone's gonna sell one for a really good price, and so I'm just gonna get her one for her to have, and I'm gonna fix my Pixel 5, getting the screen replaced that's cracked, so that way it has a solid screen on it, and just use my Pixel 5 up until like February of 2022, and then I'll go for a Pixel 6. I think that's the plan. That's the idea of what I intend to do. Other than that, I mean, who knows? Who knows what goes on? Anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have right now. When I got home today, I grabbed every SIM card that I have that's active lines, and I put it in all my Pixel phones. So I just realized right now that, like, right now I'm live streaming on a Pixel 3. So I'm using my Pixel 3 to live stream on YouTube. Pixel 3a is over there by the bed. Pixel 4 is over there by the nightstand. Pixel 5 is on the bed. Yeah, so I have the 3, the 3a, the 4, and the 5 all active on lines right now. Dave, 1:15 a.m. Yep, it's 10:17 p.m. here. So but anywho, yeah, we'll see what happens. Shout out to Tech for Your Needs, because when I posted on my second Twitter account what happened, I don't know if like the way that I tweeted it made it sound like that something happened after I filled out, because I had said I was like, oh great, just my luck, you know, I submit all my social media handles to Pixel Superfan, and then my Twitter goes down. Is what I said, and yeah, shout out to him, because I thought he was confused about what I was meaning, and like it had nothing to do with Pixel Superfans and why my Twitter account went down. I'm just happy that it's back. I'm happy that I have it, but I won't be caught with my pants down again. The second Twitter account is going to stay up. I may not be that active on it, but yeah, if you guys are avid Twitter users and you wanna, like, you know, stay up to date on the things that I'm sharing, I would recommend you guys follow that Twitter account too, just as a backup, and that way if one goes down, the other one is still there. I think that's the idea of what I'm just gonna do with it, is just keep both Twitter accounts. So Aloha_Android is my primary Twitter account. The Aloha Android is my secondary Twitter account, and it'll stay that way. I mean, it's not really such a big deal, only because I don't do a lot of Twitter Spaces. I don't feel like anyone would really join in. Like if I was to start an audio space, I don't think anyone would really join in. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try one out tonight. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll just go live on Twitter here in a sec. So anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching this quick live. For those who came in, thanks for the 6 likes. Thanks to MTR and Carlos and everyone who came in. Baby Yoda, thanks for coming in. And enjoy the rest of your night. Law. Oh, that didn't work.